Welcome to our Tips and Tricks series. Have you wanted to know how to use query parameters to pass information automatically from a survey's link or URL right into your data set? That's what we'll cover today. Keep in mind that this demonstration will use Remark Web Survey 5, and therefore some of the things I'll show you are not available in versions 4 or earlier. Here's how query parameters work. You can use query parameters to pass hidden information into a web form by using a hidden text box question and then associating a query parameter with the hidden text box. When the URL to the web form is sent out, the query parameter is appended to the URL link. When the web form is submitted by the respondent, the value for the query parameter is sent down to the data file to assist you in analyzing the data. This demonstration will show you how to set up a query parameter in your web form, how to create a custom email containing query parameters, how to customize an email that contains encrypted query parameters, and how the resulting data appear when the query parameters have been used. Let's see how this is done in the software. All right, this is a little survey that I put together just for this purpose. And let's pretend that we're getting ready to send web forms out for course evaluations. I want to explain query parameters in a little bit more detail. The way it works is that you create some hidden text boxes on your form that serve as placeholders. And ours, by the way, are already there, and you'll see them in a moment. And then when we send the invitation out, we're going to fill in values for those placeholders, and that information is going to become part of our form and part of our data set. So here's the tree view list over here on the left-hand side, and I'll just scroll down a little bit here. And I have placed two text boxes here, and I'm going to open the properties for the first one for instructor, and I've also done one for course. And to set this up, I'm going to go to Properties when they open here in just a second, and go to the Attributes link. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to hide the questions from the respondent, because really this is something that goes on in the background and they don't need to see it. And then I'm going to go down to the Behavior section and click on Associate Response with the following query parameter. And you'll notice I've already placed one in here, INS, and that's short for instructor. And here's a little tip. I'm keeping the name short because it's going to become part of the URL link to the web form. So again, INS is the name I'm naming the question. And later when we go to send the email, you'll see how we pass in the actual value. So I'm going to say OK, and do the same for course. That'll open in just a second. So once again, I'm going to go to Attributes, and here it is. And I'm going to tell it to hide the question from the respondent and to associate the response with the following query parameter. And this one I've also made short. You'll see that it is CRS for course. And I'll say OK. All right, so now that I've laid the groundwork, there are two things I want to do with this hidden information. One is, of course, I want it in my data, so I can associate the data from the survey with the proper course and instructor. But more importantly, I want my students to be able to see which course and instructor they're evaluating. So to do this, I'm actually going to use answer piping. So here in the header, and let me scroll up, I've placed two labels, one for instructor and one for course. So I'm going to open the properties for instructor. And I'm actually going to insert an answer pipe. Notice I put my cursor just to the right of the colon, and I click on the link for Insert Answer Pipe. And this answer pipe I'm going to insert will be for the instructor, and I'll say OK. And you'll notice there's a placeholder that's placed here. Later on that will have the actual value. I'll say OK. I'm going to do the same for course. And here we go, place the cursor, go to Insert Answer Pipe, and tell it to type in the actual name of the course. And the nice thing about doing this in a header is that if your form were a multi-page form, then your header with this information would be on each page of the form that the respondent saw. So now I have it all set up behind the scenes, and to make it work we need get some good information into this web form. Up here on the Tools tab, I'm going to go to Send Invitations, and to our email client I'm going to drop down the little list and choose Advanced, because this is an advanced feature. And I'm going to load the query parameters into the survey link or URL right here. So I'm going to check a number of things here. Because this is a password protected survey, I'm going to include the web form credentials in the URL to the survey. That means that when they click on the link, they'll be automatically logged in. And I'm going to check here to include predefined query parameters. And if I wanted to, I could check the box to encrypt them. But because I want you to actually see these later in the link, I'm not going to encrypt them. But I am going to check both of these. And now we're actually going to put in the actual value that's going to be passed. And I'm going to put the instructor name in here as Jane Doe. And for the course, I'm going to put in that it's English 101. And I'm going to say OK. And you'll notice that we get the actual invitation to take the web form. Now, I could personalize this, but one of the other great features of Web Survey 5 is that you can actually create and save templates, and I happen to have one for my course evaluation already made, so let's use that. Okay, you'll notice another nice thing, and by the way, we have a great tips and tricks that covers the password builder and the email client. But one of the things you can do is you can actually use an answer pipe to pipe the name of your student, in this case, right into the web invitation. So that's what I've done here. And I'm going to get ready to send this, but because I don't want to really spam everyone on my list here, everyone that was in my list in the password builder, I'm just going to take those out for the purposes of this demonstration, and I'm going to click the send button. So we'll get to see how this email looks here in just a second. And now that it's sent, I'm going to go ahead and open Outlook so you can see if we got it. Oh, there it is. And there's the student name, Dear Bob Jones. You've been invited to complete the following online course evaluation. And what you'll notice is over here, we have the query parameters, Jane Doe, and that the course is English 101. And that's the information that's in that URL that's going to be passed right into our data set and into the survey itself. So let's click the link and take a look at this in a browser. And here's our survey. And notice that we've been automatically logged right in to this survey. They don't have to enter a password or anything else. And up here are the headers. You can see that the instructor is Jane Doe. The course is English 101. So I wanted you to see how well that works. Let's go back to Web Survey now. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and log in. And I'm going to download the data. I'm going to go to the Data Download Center and download the data so that you can see how these query parameters look when they've been passed into your data set. And here it is. You've got instructor and course, John Doe, and Physics 101. This was a different course that was being taught. I had some data already up there. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this and that you've gained some information about how to use query parameters, and this will help you handle your data from your respondents much more easily. Don't forget, we're always looking for your suggestions for tips and tricks, topics, so please send them to us. Okay, thanks. Bye.